She said we weren't official when I caught her with another guy at a pub. When I walked up to ask what was going on, she laughed, turned to the crowd, and yelled, "Someone call security. This creep's been following me all night." The bouncers dragged me out while she pretended not to know me. I didn't argue. I just walked away. 3 weeks later, her whole family was at my doorstep begging for forgiveness. This happened about 2 years ago, but I still think about it sometimes. Figured I'd finally share, especially after a buddy of mine told me it was one of the wildest things he'd ever heard. At the time, I was 31, dating this woman Rebecca, 28. We'd been seeing each other for 6 months. Things seemed great. We spent most weekends together, texted constantly, had clothes and stuff at each other's places. To any reasonable person, we were in a relationship. Now, important context, Rebecca came from one of the wealthiest, most well-connected families in our city. Her dad's a judge. Her mom's heavily involved in charity boards. One brother's in local politics. These are the type of people who have their name on buildings. Me? I'm just a regular IT project manager. Good job, sure, but no wing of a hospital named after me. One Friday, I was supposed to meet up with a college buddy. He canceled last minute with food poisoning. I knew Rebecca was out with her girlfriends at a place called the Compass, so I figured I'd swing by and surprise her. Big mistake. I walked in and spotted her at the bar, but she wasn't with any girlfriends. She was draped all over some guy I'd never seen. His hands on her waist. She was touching his chest. And then they kissed. I approached, confused and stunned. "Rebecca," I said. For a split second, she looked shocked. But then her whole demeanor changed. It was like a mask dropped over her face. "Can I help you?" she said, like I was a complete stranger. I stammered, "What's going on?" The guy she was with straightened up and asked, "Everything okay, Becky?" She never let me call her Becky. I said, "We're together," motioning between the two of us. That's when she did the coldest thing I've ever experienced. She laughed, turned to the bar, and shouted, "Someone call security. This creep's been following me all night." The bar went quiet. Everyone stared at me. 2 huge bouncers grabbed me without hesitation. I tried to explain, 6 months together, I knew her, but they weren't listening. "Sir, you need to leave," one said, already dragging me toward the door. I looked at Rebecca, silently begging her to speak up. "I've never seen this man before in my life," she said, staring me dead in the eyes. They threw me out. Literally tossed me onto the sidewalk, door slamming behind me. It was raining. I just stood there, soaked and stunned. I didn't call her. Didn't text. I didn't demand answers. Something in me snapped, not with rage, but with icy clarity. A part of me I didn't know existed took over. Over the next week, I built a case. I gathered every text, email, photo, social post, gift receipt, trip booking, every shred of evidence that proved our relationship. I even made backups. One digital, one physical, and one professionally bound like a legal dossier. Then I dug deeper. Turned out Rebecca was seeing 3 other guys while she was with me. One was the guy from the pub. Another worked at her family's law firm. The third had political ties through her father. None of us knew about each other. I sent the bound copy straight to her father's office at the courthouse. Included a note. "Your daughter's character, documented. This goes public tomorrow unless you and Rebecca meet me at my apartment at 7 p.m. I left my address and phone number. Less than an hour later, the judge called me. "What the hell do you think you're doing?" he barked. "Guessing you got my package," I said calmly. "This is blackmail. I could have you arrested." "It's just the truth, Judge. I haven't asked for money. But if you'd rather I send this to your law partners, the Bar Association, your wife's charity board, and your kids' college admissions offices, that's your call." There was silence. "What do you want?" he finally asked, less tough now. "Like I said, you and Rebecca. My apartment. 7 p.m. Alone. Our mom goes out tonight." I hung up. They showed up exactly on time. The judge looked furious. "Rebecca, pale as a ghost. You have 5 minutes," the judge said. "No," I replied. "I have as long as I want. But I'll be quick." I told them what happened. How Rebecca lied and humiliated me in public, pretended I was a stalker, and had me thrown out of a bar. While she continued her date with one of the men she'd been cheating with. Rebecca tried to deny it. "You've been stalking me." I cut her off. "Everything in that file is time-stamped and verified. I don't care what you have to say." Then I laid out my terms. "The only way this doesn't go public is if tomorrow night, at 8 p.m., Rebecca returns to the Compass and admits what she did. In front of the same crowd. Same bouncers. Same scene." Rebecca laughed. "You're insane if you think I'll." "You'll do it," her dad interrupted. "And then this ends. The files stay private." "I'll keep them," I said. As insurance. But yes, they'll stay private if she follows through. The judge agreed. Rebecca had no choice. After they left, she blew up my phone with texts. "You can't do this to me. My father will destroy you. Please. He's threatening to fire me. He'll kill me if this gets out." I ignored everyone. The next night, I got to the bar early. Same bouncers. They didn't recognize me. Place was packed. At 8 p.m. sharp, Rebecca walked in, alone. She saw me and came over. "Let's get this over with," she hissed. "Not yet," I said. "We're waiting for someone." At 8:15, the pub guy walked in with his friends. Perfect. I stood up, walked to the center of the bar. Rebecca followed, face tight. "Excuse me, everyone," I called out. The place quieted down. "Last Friday, I was thrown out of here after this woman claimed I was a stranger stalking her. In reality, we've been in a relationship for 6 months." Whispers. Bouncers shifting uncomfortably. I turned to Rebecca. "Your turn." Face red, she mumbled. "It's true." Louder. "It's true," she repeated. "We were dating. I lied when I said I didn't know him. And, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have had you thrown out." I turned to the bouncers. "She's referring to last Friday. As you just heard, I wasn't stalking her. She was cheating and got caught." One of them actually apologized. I told Rebecca, "We're done here." Then I left. But I wasn't actually done. That night, I sent the full file to the partners at her family's law firm, the Bar Association's ethics committee, and her direct supervisor. By morning, she was fired. Within days, the story spread through every social circle their family touched. 3 weeks later, on a Sunday morning, my doorbell rang. It was the entire Thompson family, the judge, the charity mom, Rebecca, and her 2 siblings. "May we come in?" the judge asked. Gone was the bravado. I let them in. "What you did was wrong," he said. "Blackmail is a crime." "Yeah," I admitted. It was. I was hurt. Humiliated. I wanted her to feel the same. Not proud of it. But what Rebecca did. That was wrong, too. Her mom spoke next. "We didn't raise her to behave like this." Rebecca just stared at the floor. "You've damaged our entire family," the judge continued. "My reputation. My wife's work. My son's political career. My daughter's college future." "I only meant to hurt Rebecca," I said. "Not all of you." Her mom said softly, "We're here as a family. Even when one of us does something terrible." Rebecca finally looked up. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "What I did at the pub was cruel." The judge asked, "Will you take back the documents?" "She's lost her job. Her reputation. She's agreed to therapy. We just want a chance to rebuild without this hanging over us." I paused. The anger had cooled. I didn't like who I'd become during all this. "I was wrong to blackmail you," I said. "I'll recall the documents. Not for Rebecca. But because this whole revenge thing, it's not who I want to be." They thanked me and left. I sent out emails retracting my earlier statements, saying I'd acted out of personal grievance and shared misleading info. Didn't totally clear Rebecca, but gave them breathing room. I never saw or spoke to her again. Heard she moved to a new city. The judge retired the next year. Their reputation took a hit, but it survived. As for me, I learned something about myself. There's a dark side in there. A cold, calculating version of me I never knew existed. When pushed to the edge, I was capable of destruction. The revenge felt good, for a moment. But afterward, I didn't like the man in the mirror.